You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAK Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Holy fuck.
I don't know why I wasn't ready for it.
Holy fuck.
You always got to be ready for it. Hello!
Hey.
And welcome to the It Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 137. We're recording this on Tuesday, October 17th. You'll be hearing this on Friday, October 20th.
Look at how in German this is. I didn't realize it was in German.
Yeah, they most,
That's where
Adidas
is from.
Adidasler.
I would have never guessed that growing up until I got into sneakers, and then I was like, they're from Germany? That's very entire, dude.
All day I dream about sports.
Whoa, that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
You know what else we forgot to mention last week?
What was
Just
that?
real quick,
Yeah.
if I may.
Mm-hmm.
It was Friday. The episode came out on Friday the 13th, and we didn't even make a big deal about it.
One of the things was that I didn't realize it was Friday the 13th until someone said it while I walked into school.
You know, it's not every year 420 is on Friday the 13th, Gavin.
Not every year that Halloween lands on the 13th of October.
Of Friday.
The 13th.
Well, folks, we have quite a show for you. We have just a few things to talk about that will be very fun. Got some catching up to do that I would like to share with Gavin about my weekend. We're going to be talking about I'm going to say ongoing drama, because it's kind of over at this point, but the drama around surrounding the drummer of the band Tesseract, which is quite interesting.
Sure, man.
And then we have another drug-related next-door drama.
Well, it's Halloween time.
Very excited. Yeah, and this one is Halloween related.
Yeah.
It is
I took a
strictly, peek. It's very fun. But just real quick,
before we get started,
if we may, gonna keep this kind of short.
I have to address the rumors about my Supreme shirt. It is fake.
Jesus. And I didn't even know he was gonna do that.
All right, go ahead with the actual thing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sorry.
Can't believe he wore that on here. Oh wait, I gave that to you.
Yeah, you did.
People have asked if it's real, I'm sure.
Well, I think people were just like, oh, this guy's a douche.
Fucking guy.
Yeah.
This guy's a fucking douche. Real quick, just to get serious here for very momentarily, not to dwell on this very long. We would just like to acknowledge the obvious ongoing war in Israel and Palestine. And we kind of made a decision last week and obviously this week to not really talk about it in too much detail, as there's just so much discourse going on around it currently out there everywhere you look. Rightfully so, of course. But we, first and foremost here, we are a comedy podcast. At least we think so. We think we're funny. But we also do talk about serious things in politics and stuff like that when it's appropriate. We also like to keep that lighthearted when it's needed, but be serious when the time comes for it. So it would be kind of weird if we didn't at least mention something about it, but we would like this podcast to be funny and lighthearted and as kind of like an escape from everything that's going on right now. So it's not that we don't want to talk about it, but I think I look for things out there in the world when there's so much horrible stuff going on that's like an escape from it all, like a place where I can laugh and have fun. And doing this show with Gavin is one of those things, but I also hope that it's for, the small viewership we have. And we're only speaking to a few people about this stuff a week, but I feel it's important to at least mention something about it. So we're going to continue with doing that. And obviously there might be a time where we do end up talking about it, but as of right now, it honestly doesn't really feel appropriate for two white guys from the Midwest to be repeating things that there are plenty of other more qualified and appropriate people to be talking about it.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's really all I would like to say about it. Gavin, is there anything you wanted to?
No, there's a
further say on it?
lot of misinformation on both sides, a lot of propaganda on both sides. So make sure you're
On all sides too, because I would say there's not really just this side or that
Yeah, I
side.
guess.
You know what I mean?
Well, if we're gonna get specific, no, just kidding.
No, I just wanted to make that point because
No,
a lot of people
from
are-
all sides, America, wherever, Palestine, Israel, everyone, the propaganda, misinformation that could be propagating online, take what you see with a grain of salt, unless it's coming from like a official report and it's been circulated among many different sites, qualified resources. The extreme amount of the loss of life on both sides is still unbelievable, and not much that we can say that would make a difference.
Yeah. I think the only thing that for people like us and people, and there's plenty of you out there, I know for sure. Ways that you can help are, of course, there's places you can donate, but also reaching out to your local representatives, reaching out to people who hold office and demanding a ceasefire is one way to put your voice out there and help in some sort of way. Whether it does anything or not, it's not entirely up to us, but doing something like that does help. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
So let's try and transition out of that with talking about our weekends.
With an awesome weekend.
Let's talk about how awesome we are.
Yeah, let's
in
talk
a
about
time like this.
Let's talk about how awesome our weekend was.
Speaking of, one thing funny that I saw, with everything going on, it's not funny about what's going on, but it's just the timing of this. There's a comedian who I've met, humble brag, name drop, Corey Snierowski. I might be saying his name wrong.
Yeah, sure.
He's an online comedian. He had a show called This Is Branchburg, I think it was called. But he's one of the reasons that I'm still on Twitter is because his tweets are so funny. But yesterday, like one of these like Pop Crave fucking stupid ass Twitter accounts posted that yesterday, 100 years ago, was 100 years ago was when Disney was created. And he quote tweeted that and he said, "Now is not the time." Which is like so stupid. Is like, what is it even? It's funny because it's like, now is not the time to be celebrating 100 years or whatever that means. But it was just so funny. He also tweeted when Dianne Feinstein died. I retweeted
croaked.
this. He quote tweeted like, she's passed away. And he's like, damn, we were supposed to go on a pub crawl next week or something like that. So he's very funny, and it's like not really political tweets, but it'll like, be in reference to that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
just to transition out of that in some way that I could. So you had an exciting weekend.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
was Friday, actually this whole last week, like the day after the podcast, I felt like crap last week. And I felt like crap
Yeah.
Thursday. I have really
the
stuffy
chip
nose.
incident.
Yeah, the chip incident I think was exacerbated by walking around the hospital the next day.
Okay.
So if I had gotten something, it was from probably the hospital,
Sure. Yeah.
or possibly I went to a bar for an hour.
Yeah. It could have been.
Could have
either
been
of those.
that, but
Or school.
or school, or I think everybody's kind of coming down with something.
But the chip gate. But the chip had a sickness.
Chipgate, yeah.
Chipgate.
Yeah. The chip didn't certainly help. And so we had the American Pharmacist. This is the Pharmacist
Oh, yeah.
Month or Pharmacy Month.
Let's give it up.
Yeah. Don't know if you guys know this, but I'm in pharmacy school.
Hey, I never told you this, but thank you for your
Oh,
service.
yeah. No problem.
Okay.
it's
Pharmacists don't have strong grip of strength, I guess.
Nope.
Just slipped right out
Yeah.
too. You guys are slimy too, huh? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
What is all that?
Sorry.
Is that
goons. I had a
normal?
wild goon session earlier.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I know you love
hate
that.
that.
I know you love that.
I hate that joke.
Been edging all day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it was just, I could say it later.
So
but
anyway,
I had an edging joke.
we have American Pharmacists Association. It's the American Pharmacists Month. So the American Pharmacists Association on campus.
you guys need a whole fucking month?
Wait till I tell you all the different letters that we have
Oh,
for all these
Jesus.
clubs. So you have the ASHP, which is what I'm the secretary of.
Can I go take a Dramamine before we do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe a melatonin too.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
It came out as Dramamine.
Well, you have a little motion sick. I get it. Yeah.
Woozy.
Whoa. Yeah. So yeah, we had a walk by clinic that we moved inside.
Yeah.
And I was at
That
the
was cool.
mental awareness table, mental illness table, because I have mental illness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause you're
but-
qualified.
Yeah, because I'm qualified. I can speak on these things. And sat there with my old roommate Dylan,
Oh,
and
nice.
we ran the table from 11 to from 12 to 2, and then I went home, and then he stayed till 4. But
Oh wow.
yeah.
So for those who don't know, what was that? Because it was like a free clinic.
Yeah,
for
so
anybody
you
to come
could get,
use,
I
correct?
think you could get your flu shot, you could get your blood sugar read, you can get your blood pressure taken. We had resources for substance use disorders, so like you could throw away. There we had like these bags that like dissolve medication.
Yeah.
Throw those away. Any expired meds, you dissolve in there, just so it's not getting in the waterways or anything like that. We
During
had
the frickin' frogs.
yeah,
game.
during the frickin' frogs gay. Yeah, here we go.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
A little bit different, but
Yeah.
you never know.
What else did we have there? We had I was right next to the diabetes table. We also had a table for the Missouri Pharmacists Association, and there was
Well, so what did you guys specifically do at your table?
we just handed out flyers about mental awareness,
Nice.
or like mental illness
Mental
and
health,
like
yeah.
mental health,
Mental
mental illness awareness.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Destigmatizing it, explaining the
Yeah.
difference between like stress and anxiety and
Mhm.
like how they interact with each other.
Were you just gaslighting people when they came
Yeah,
over?
I was like you don't know what you're talking about. Wait till you see this. And
Wait
then
till
there
you
was
read
also
this
some
whole-
dogs that came. So we had like some therapy
Oh.
dogs come on campus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, worked out perfectly. I don't know if we were supposed to have it outside, so people walking in our big, huge walkway in between the buildings that goes to the WashU like medical campus and the Barnes Jewish campus and Children's Hospital campus as well. Could have stopped by, but yeah, we moved inside because it was like raining and cold and windy. So
Yeah, it was.
shitty day, but it was not made any better. I still had like a sore throat, not like a super sore throat, but it was like just like a raspy,
Lingering.
yeah, and then a stuffy nose, like kind of how I have now, more than usual. That I was not able to get rid of. Couldn't kick it, couldn't shake it. So came home and slept for like 15 hours. I went to bed at like 2 a.m. Stayed up and played some Call of Duty with our good friend Andrew.
COD,
Yeah,
Black Ops, Modern Warfare.
Modern
What did
Warfare
you
2.
guys play? Nice.
And then the next day I woke up, had a super bad headache and a migraine. Like it wasn't like a migraine headache. It was like something. It felt like my brain was on my skull. It was terrible.
Ugh.
Probably
Sinus headache then. Maybe.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I was like out all day until like 5:45, and then played some Forza Motorsport. It's a nostalgic game for me, but they have like a new one out. Back to the old ways of just not, instead of driving around in the wilderness or driving out like in the country of Mexico or England or Italy or whatever. Now you're like a racer competing, just like how the old games were. But anyway,
Like in the city?
yeah, or like actual like racetracks like Mugello.
Oh, okay.
That was one of my favorites. It's really aesthetic. I really want to have that, but they don't have any merch of like these places because
Oh, that's weird.
it's more of like
they
the
made up?
series. No, it's real. They're
Oh.
real. They're real places with real cars. But yeah. So Felt like shit all weekend. Then went in and worked. Then woke up Sunday, felt fine. Came home, chilled out, and drove back. And yep, then I had a practicum today for sterile compounding, which I am totally don't know how to do. Didn't know how to do it. I walked in there like I didn't know what I was doing. I was kidding. I have like so many hours in the IV room. It's a ridiculous amount of time. And then they also had me compound like a very expensive medication last night. The managers specifically did not allow anyone else make it besides me.
Nice. What was it?
It was,
if you're allowed to share.
yeah,
Let's not
I
break
don't know.
any NDAs.
It was just a medication.
No,
I don't know.
I'm
I don't
sure.
know who it was for, but it was like,
Right. It was for
I should
RFK.
probably know how to pronounce this by now.
Let me take a crack at it. Pretty good at these words.
Bevacizumab.
Okay.
And it's a monoclonal antibody that they were under the impression that they had to compound it, or like, you dilute it with something and then pull it up, but it was just completely liquid. So I just had to pull it up and put it into a bag.
Was it for like a
It was for
COVID transfusion? thing?
No. It was for like, it's like post-cancer treatment.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's supposed to help your
I think
body.
it's like the same. I want to say it's like kind of a similar thing to like the antibody transfusions they were doing for COVID. I think.
Because
Because I think
don't know.
I talked to somebody who
Yeah,
got
someone
it.
who got monoclonal antibodies. Those don't work anymore though.
Why is that?
There's resistance to the monoclonal antibodies from the virus. Virus doesn't respond to it anymore.
Because
The antibodies would bind to the virion, the little spike protein. It would bind to that, and like not make it able to reproduce.
right.
So it got resistant to that.
Oh, just over time.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's been like 3 years.
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so it doesn't work anymore to stop the virus or help anything.
Huh.
Yep. Can't tell
That's
you that.
interesting.
But
I'll ask
I did the
more about it
math.
off
It
the
was did the math. It was somewhere around the price of maybe like, I might be underestimating here. Honestly, it was like a $10,000 drug. So that was a lot of fun last night. Oh, okay, cool. I did not look at that until after I had compounded
That's
it.
insane, and that's so fucked up.
So yeah. So that was I think that was the name of it. Bevacizumab. Yeah. Interesting stuff that happened.
Crazy.
So then today I went into the sterile compounding lab and had a practicum for it, and was shaking in my boots for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but it happens.
I know why. It's it's performance. It's doing it.
I was
in front
getting
of a
watched.
person.
I was getting watched
Yeah.
with a camera, and then
Right.
there was people usually in there by myself or with one other person, not like 5 or 6 other people. So
I get it, man.
yeah,
I do the same thing.
yeah. So anyway, think I did it
That's
right,
your deal.
and then I have an exam on Friday. So
There you
by
go.
the time you're watching this, I hopefully pass the exam.
I think we're all rooting for you.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
Feeling productive.
There you go.
Feeling productive today.
I'm happy to hear
Started
that.
making my bed every day.
I heard on a
Yeah.
podcast, you already know, how do you probably know what I'm going to say,
Yeah,
that there was some like,
Study.
alpha, well, it was like a lot of alpha people posting this, but yeah, there was a study, which is like, why
people
the
who
fuck are
make their
people
bed
studying this?
are 200 times more likely to become millionaires.
Yep. And so,
And as someone who I don't really think of money like that, but
Yeah.
it does make a little bit of a difference every day.
yeah,
For
it's just a
me.
good thing to do. It's just like, it's for me and for what I've been hearing for years, it's just like, it's just a good habit to do because it makes
It's a
you like,
grounding mechanism.
yeah, it's grounding. It's, putting your head on straight and getting the day start off with like not a mess.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's as much as I do my bed. As you could see, about 2 feet away from you, that's what I do.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have
what
like
I
a
do.
whole.
I think I have that same
Thing.
sheet. I'm not kidding. I have
Maybe you
that
do.
same. I have that same comforter.
Yeah, but you don't have a queen.
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah, that's actually a king size comforter because they didn't have a queen. So I was like,
Well,
fuck
that-
it. I
so-
want a big blanket. So I bought a big blanket, and it's really big.
Do you have
and- yummy.
have you seen Boban Marjanović's big blanket brand?
No, who's? Oh, the basketball.
yeah, the basketball player. He's got a
blanket brand.
Uh-huh.
I want to know more about it.
Sorry, I know we're getting off track here.
No, please. We have plenty of time to do it. We have plenty of off-tracking time.
Big Blanket Co.
Time.
Let me pull out a picture. So, hopefully, yeah. Look how fucking massive
Wow.
these.
This is his company?
Yeah, he's like 7'2", right?
Okay.
So like he's a big ass dude. So he's probably like, these blankets did not fit me very well.
You have to get the biggest
Like,
blankets.
look at this.
What is the point? What is the point of that?
So it's a hell of a lot
Wow.
of blanket.
That is a big blanket.
Hold on, let me see if
Maybe I'll show a picture, but otherwise just look it up. Just look up big blanket.
yeah. See, here's Boban Marjanovic in it,
Okay. Wow.
and even he's 7'3". Sorry.
Jesus.
Yeah. So he's. This was actually made 5 days ago.
That is a huge blanket.
Yeah. So
You could pitch a pretty big tent in one of those.
yeah, pretty big, pretty penny for a pretty
Blanket.
Pretty
Tent.
pitch tent blanket.
Pretty picture. If you don't mind me sharing my weekend, Gavin, it actually involves someone of your own blood.
Yeah,
Talking about the
pharmacy?
Halloween season. No, your brother.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I got to spend
I forgot
some
about that.
time. Well, I got to spend quite a bit of time with your brother and our friend in front of the show, Spencer. I just got to spend a lot of time with them. Some
did you
of
guys,
which they don't even remember.
Did you guys? No, I'll ask you later. I'll ask you after you tell your story. I don't want to spoil it.
Maybe I'll even say it, so you never
Yeah.
know. So Sean had. So if you don't know, here we go. I'm not going to talk about it for too long because otherwise Gavin will start eating candy corn.
Too late.
The longer I talk about it, the more candy corn he eats. It's a rule. It's a
I'm a
rule
chubby
we have.
bunny.
Yeah, with candy corn, ruin your teeth. If you don't know already, I am a avid disc golfer, amateur disc golfer. I have a PDGA card. You can look me up on PDGA's website. If you Google my name, one of the first links that shows up is a link to my PDGA page with my number. I believe my number is 266.
Yeah, there it is. 266-287.
There it is. That's my official number.
It's only good till December 31 this year,
I had to renew it.
and you did it so late too.
Well,
No, just go ahead.
it's just the way it
You got
works,
32 points in
man.
that tournament.
Well, I have a rating now. It's astronomically low. It's pretty bad.
751.
751 is not good. To get your tour card and to be a pro, you have to be 1000 rated. To get your tour card, you have to be 1010 rated. I think. Something like that. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm an avid disc golfer. Have been for over a year now. Oh God, here he goes. And I talk about it.
You do it all by yourself. That was the
Usually.
biggest. That was the biggest thing my
with
brother
Logan
mentioned.
sometimes too. I do it all by myself.
Yeah, you do it by yourself. Like you don't invite people out to go do it with you.
I mean, Logan. I don't invite I don't
don't
yeah,
know
you're
why,
right.
yeah,
I don't like go to you or go to I
Sean,
didn't
yeah.
go to Sean and be like,
Hey, let's go disc golfing.
right. Because I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out and I'm still not great. So but I mean, I don't know. It's just not something I would have done because it's
You thought it was stupid, didn't you?
well,
I'm just kidding.
when I was growing up, and Quinn can attest to this, our good friend Quinn, our friend of the show, who's
Former
my
host.
former host of the show, our only guest host, he can attest to this, that growing up as a kid, I would force a lot of my friends into doing things that I wanted to do and never
take
really
them into
thought about
account.
it. Didn't take them what they wanted to do. It was just all what I wanted to do. So I think
Total last child thing
Right.
to do.
it's or something. I don't know what it was. But then when I grew up and I was in high school, I was that I mean before that I was having the realization, but mostly in high school I was like, wait a minute, that was not okay to do. Why did I do that? And so now I'm always in the mindset of
No one cares.
I'll ask someone if they want to do something, but
You won't force them to do it.
well, definitely I won't force them. But a lot of
could.
the times I don't even ask people. And I don't know, disc golf's kind of a weird thing where it's it's becoming more mainstream, but it's still one of those things where it's I tell people that I play disc golf, and they're like, oh, they're like, what? Or they're like, oh, okay. And I see that face, and that immediately makes me like not want to ask anybody if they want to go play.
Right.
So long story short, I haven't asked anybody to go play. But a couple weeks ago, or a month ago, your brother Sean, out of the blue, during a workout session we were having, as I'm like talking about this, is like before my tournament, he's just like, I want to go play with you sometime. And I was like, wait, really?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, I want to go play. And I was like, oh, okay. And then so we ended up, trying to figure out our time. And so last week when I was having another workout with them, I said, do you want to go this weekend? And we were with our friend Spencer. And Sean's like, sure. And then Spencer's like, you're not going to invite me? And I was like, I didn't know you wanted to go either. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I want to go. And I was like, oh, okay. Shit.
Yeah, Sean had approached me and was like, did you know Carson goes out there by himself most days?
When did he say, like, before after we went to go play?
No, before you guys went to go play. That's
yeah, it's just what I do. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like,
it's because
I think he just thought of it as like it seems like a very loner thing to do, where it's like just like,
yeah,
why don't you ask someone? He cares about you. That's why. It's because
I get that. Yeah,
and so that's where he was coming from on that.
I appreciate that, but also like
it was so funny that he brought it up to me.
That is really funny.
He was like,
do you know he does this by himself?
Maybe I've said too much.
You?
Yeah, by saying.
No, I think that's funny. Yeah. I don't care. That doesn't like.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't think Sean would give a shit.
No, definitely not. I'll bring it up to him because I think we're gonna play on Saturday. I'll act like I'm mad at him, but I was just gonna say that like the reason I do is because like if Sean or like even my brother, who maybe doesn't play with me that often for this reason,
does better than you. It does better than you. You'll get really competitive.
No, it's not even that. I'm the least competitive person in the world, which is maybe like a not good thing. But I can be a very annoying person to play with because like if I don't throw a perfect shot or the shot I want, I'm immediately like, let me throw one more. So like by the point I'm like throwing like three shots because I want to get
though. It's not like you're actually competing.
Yeah, but like. That's the thing. During practice, that makes sense. But when I'm just out on a course that I'm not even going to play in a tournament and I'm just playing for fun, I shouldn't be so like serious about. I'm a big competitor against myself.
I see. Yeah.
So if I'm not throwing a shot I know I can throw, then I'm like upset.
Oh, I know I can do that.
And I know I can do it. So let me just do one more. And I'm doing that like on every single like hole, and it's like,
and then you have to go collect all those frisbees.
Exactly, and a lot of them I lose in the woods and spend like 15 minutes trying to look for them. So I can be a very annoying person to play with, which is why I enjoy playing by myself more. But anyways, so this past weekend on Saturday,
here I am talking about how much Carson doesn't like gooning sessions, and out here he's over here playing with himself.
I don't goon by myself though. I don't goon with anybody. It's so gross. I didn't want that to be talked about on this show, and now you're making me use that word.
It's so good.
It's not. It's not good. I hate it.
I love it.
So me and the boys gooned this past week. No, so
you guys went out.
So we went out, and it was not an ideal day to go play disc golf.
Yeah, whenever
it was
John
cold
told me
and
that
windy.
you guys went frisbee golfing, I was like, oh, okay.
It was cold and windy. The wind was at like 16 miles per hour.
Southwest.
I don't remember. Oh. But like I usually
Northwest.
don't like to play over 10 mile per hour winds because it's not fun. Wind gusts are not fun to play in. But you should play and you should get the practice in it. But I usually don't.
This
but
coming from a professional.
Gusts were amateur, novice. The gusts were upwards of like maybe 25 miles per hour. So it was not an ideal day, but we were going to do it. We were going to tough it out. And it was a little like it had rained the night before, whatever. I had a plan to go to this course that I would consider like a beginner, moderate level course, full 18 holes of disc golf, 18 goon holes of disc golf.
18 and older only.
18 or older disc golf course.
Strip disc golf.
Strip disc golf, yeah. It's all indoor, heated. No, it's this park called Fort Zumwalt Park, which is just a normal park, but they put a disc golf course in it. Really fun, one of my favorite courses. So I plan to take them there. As we're driving in, I see a sign that says disc golf course closes October, or like park closes October 16th. And I remembered, oh, right, they close it down in the middle of October every year to set up Christmas lights in the park. They had done that last year. So I was like, oh, well, good. We'll get one more game in before they close it down. And we park and we get everything ready and we walk up and all the baskets are gone. So they had closed the course down early. So I was like, fuck. So then I'm like looking on my phone.
It's really high
like,
in demand, so that's probably why they took it down there. Like, we just don't need this
there's
traffic
too many
right
people
now.
playing. No, that's literally why they do it. Like, actually, they don't want that many people there messing with the lights. So I was like, okay. And we made the decision to go to this course in Wentzville, which is a really, really fun course. Another one I really like. But it's, even though they have pro tee pads and amateur tee pads, so they have like, one's further than the other, it's still like a pretty difficult course for the most part. And so it wasn't a great beginner one to go on, but that was just kind of the choice we had to go to. And so, I went through the basics with the guys and, kind of got to laugh at them throwing terrible shots, which is fun to like finally have like a athletic upper hand on somebody, because I go through my whole life of not having any athletic upper hand in anything I do. So that was nice for, I was like, this won't last long, but at least I'll get it for now. Because I told them, and I'll be honest, like, both of those guys are athletes, and they will, if they choose to keep playing, will excel so much higher than I will ever be, because they're inherently athletes. Yeah. And they will just excel so much further. They'll get to the place I am in like a month if they were playing like every weekend.
I actually did touch a frisbee today. We played Can Jam.
Oh, nice. There you go.
At a pharmacy party that they had for Pharmacy Week.
That's some good practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so went through pretty much the basics with them, just forehand, backhand form, putting form, stuff like that.
John told me he ended up just going overhand.
Yeah, so I'll get to that in a minute, because that's a key part of the story. So, they were struggling with it. Whether a lot of that had to do with wind and just like throwing a frisbee for the first time in years for them. So we ended up just kind of mostly teaching them backhand form and stuff like that. And it took about to the third hole on the tee pad. I tee off. I threw like a decent shot, nothing amazing. It was like probably like 290-foot hole, and it kind of like went over a ridge, and then like the basket was on the edge of the woods on the other side of this ridge, so you couldn't really see the basket from where we were throwing. But Sean steps up with a mid-range disc, throws it perfect, probably like, plus 250 feet plus backhand. Spencer has a fairway driver, throws it again, perfect 250 feet plus, like the best drives, like, and it only took 3 holes for them to like nearly park it for a birdie, which was a par 3. So that was really cool. But, some struggles through the rest of the holes of them still trying to figure it out, especially the putting form and stuff like that. But then we get to like hole, I think like 8 or 9. And we let this guy who was just by himself play through. Why do you even play by yourself? That's what I said to him. I'm like, you do this, you come out here by yourself and play?
You must be fucking crazy.
Right. And so he's like an older guy, probably in his 40s. And we let him play through. And I mentioned, I'm like, oh, it's these guys' first time playing. Like, I'm taking them, they're out for their first time. And he goes, this is your first time playing disc golf? He's like, oh my God, it's going to change your life. He's like, I've done this. I met all these people, and like, just like very excited about it, which that's how like a lot of disc golfers are. And so I was like glad to like, show them someone else who was like super passionate about it. But then, so
they were like, nerd.
Right. I think they were thinking that.
Yeah,
but
didn't say anything about that.
He's talking to us and he's like, I've been throwing, it's a very wooded course too, that for any disc golfers out there, this will make sense, but it's very wooded. So a lot of tight gaps you're hitting. And he was like, yeah, I've just been there. These gaps are just so hard hit. I've just been throwing thumbers, which a thumber is an overhand throw, like this motion. Like the tomahawk, the racist tomahawk chop, literally. Yeah, that's literally the overhand motion of it.
Atlanta Braves.
Yep. But what you do is like you have a frisbee and you grip it to where your thumb is hooking on the underside of it. So like hooking around the rim.
Yeah.
And you're holding it straight upright or at an angle, and you're just doing that overhand just throw. And it's like all muscle, it's all in your arm, whereas like throwing backhand or forehand is a lot in your wrist and a lot of just like kind of like touch. It's not so much like you're just muscling it through. But this throw is like all muscle. So he throws that, and that guy pretty much parked it for a birdie. It was again a par 3. And Sean immediately goes, I'm going to try that. And I hadn't told him, I didn't even told him what a thumber was. I was just like, let's just focus on the basics. And I was just like, because I also don't throw thumbers. I've tried and it's just not for me. But I was like, okay, but like, you're going to throw it backhand first. I'm like, we're not going to jump there yet, because and I ended up telling him this later, but there's only one touring pro who only throws thumbers, tomahawks, or like forehands. But everybody else, like nobody else, just throws that for a reason. You know, it's not a super practical throw. It's good if you have it.
Good at keeping your back pocket.
Right. So that's why I was just like, let's also learn this too. Like, I want you to throw those. But so Sean threw it back and it wasn't great. And then he threw a thumber. And immediately I was like, oh, he's got like a good form with that down. Like, I didn't even teach him how to run up or anything with this throw. But he like, did it, and it wasn't great. It wasn't an amazing thumber, but he got
fuck you, Sean.
Yeah, fuck you, Sean. But he got pretty close for a birdie. So I was like, yeah, no, try it on the next one. Let's see if you can get it. Like that looked pretty decent. So we step up on the next one. It's like a 350-foot par 3, and it's a really cool shot because you're like standing on one side of this big hill with this like huge deep valley in front of you. And then the basket's on the other side of the valley. So you're like throwing over a valley in between trees, over trees too. Awesome hole. Again, like I said, like 350 way. Sean, first of all, Spencer throws like a perfect backhand mid-range shot, which is beautiful. And then Sean steps up and just launches this thumber like 300 plus feet, perfectly dead straight, and like, you know, puts it within like 30 feet of the basket. And my best shot was like 50 short down the hill. And so I was just like, that's insane. So then he proceeds to just only throw thumbers off the tee and like nearly park every basket that was like within reach. And the best one that he had is it was like a 250-foot uphill par 3. And it was like off to the right, really hard to reach, especially with like a, 50-degree elevation. So it was like playing 300 feet. Sean throws a perfect thumber, puts it within like 30 feet, and then he makes a 30-foot putt, which is like, as a beginner, making a 30-foot putt is like near impossible. And so he got his first birdie like within like 10 holes, like 11 holes or something. So it was just crazy how quickly he figured that out. And I mean, he still, the putting struggles were not all there, but he was quickly figuring it out. And same with Spencer, not to put all this just on Sean, but we ended up figuring out, or I ended up deducing that like that thumber, that overhand throw makes sense because Sean is an outfielder. Mm-hmm. He's used to just launching the ball overhand as far as he can. And so like that just makes sense. But it was just so fun. And I wish nobody took a fucking video of it, which makes me so mad. But like I was saying, I didn't tell him how to throw them. Mm-hmm. I didn't teach him how the run up is. And like, again, that only pro who throws those, it like I could put a side by side of him and Sean, and it looks exactly like it was just perfect. And I was like, how did you figure that out so quick?
Hey, be sure to zip them up whenever you're done.
Right, exactly. It's nuts. It was so wild. So it was awesome. And then like,
I also realized I'm left-handed. I do everything left-handed.
Right.
I throw frisbees right-handed.
What?
That's the only.
Dude, if you get
such a mental block for me to put it in my left hand, I'm literally like, what the fuck is this?
Man, you would dominate the course as an ambidextrous player, though. That's a skill that only a few people have.
I was playing the Cam Jam today. And I'm like, I am throwing this with my right hand just inherently.
That's so funny.
Backhand. It's like ball backhand.
Weird. Yeah. That's so bizarre.
I never went like this. I would probably go like, no, I would go left hand, but it doesn't feel as natural as just doing right hand.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like LeBron James being left-handed and shoots with his right.
is he left-handed?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
He's left-handed.
Huh.
Same thing with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is right-handed but shoots with his left for some reason. So, just weird shit like that.
That is weird.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, it was fun because we got done with our round and they were like, let's do it again. Like, you know, let's go play again. Like, let's enjoy it. And I'm not putting any pressure on them, but it just like made me happy that I was like, okay, maybe I got some more people into this. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool. And like I said, I think we're going to go play again on Saturday. We'll see. I'm going to ask them. Like I said, I'm not forcing them into doing it, but yeah, it was just really fun to like see them excel so quickly and enjoy it. And so getting off the disc golf a little bit, but we ended up all going out that night. And first off, Spencer and I pre-gamed, quote unquote, by going to the casino and losing quite a bit of money. I think we both lost the same amount. That's our second trip there, losing money and not winning anything. Won a little bit, but not much. Nothing to talk about. Won a little bit and then spent it and then lost everything. So it wasn't even enough to like hold on to. But we left there and then we went out to a bar and met up with Sean because Sean didn't go to the casino with us. And when we were there, like one of the first things Sean said to me is like, I've just been thinking all day about how to perfect my thumber throw. Like he said it jokingly, but it was just like, it was funny because they were both still like talking about it and how we need to go play again and stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was going to say earlier when you brought up edging,
Yeah.
that one of the things it's one of the things we do when we hang out, but especially in like a bar setting where like it's so loud that you only have like the chance to say a few words to somebody, that like when we go out to a bar, it's like we're not talking very much, we're just drinking, and then I think all of us in our head are like thinking of something really fucking stupid or funny to say.
We think of the bits.
Yeah, and then we'll go up to someone and like say it. And so one of the things I said to Sean that I thought of, I think I said it to Sean and Spencer, and maybe our mutual friend Jerry, is I was like, yeah, man, I've been edging all day. I was like, are you wearing a condom or something like that? Or I've been edging all day, but I'm wearing a condom, so it's all good. So it's just
Sean showed me the clip where you're doing the robot, and he said that some people behind him like were crying laughing about it.
I didn't even like know that they were looking at me. And I like walked in and there was some like stupid fucking song playing because it was like all like early 2000s pop hits. And so I just walked in and I started doing the robot. And then Sean's like, wait, let me take a video of it. And I said, okay. And so I like started really going into it and doing it. And then like he stopped filming and these two ladies were like laughing behind him. And so I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good at that. But yeah, and then another time, I don't remember what instigated this, but I just like pointed at Sean and I screamed. I said, I pointed at him. I said, get out of here. Just like screamed it. And so many people turned around and like looked because I just like screamed it at him.
That's always a good thing to do, is really
just yell. And Sean wanted me to do it again to another one of his friends who I'm like not super close with. He's like, go do it to him. And I was like, I can't. I'm like, I can't do it. I was like, I already did it once. I can't do it another time. But another thing funny that happened.
They thought that you were the bouncer coming up into the...
Right.
They were coming up into the bar.
The secret bouncer.
Yeah.
While we were there was a teacher from our old high school.
Yeah, shut the way that.
And the old, like, one of their, like, baseball coaches or something who, like...
Yeah.
This is a local bar in our area. It's pretty popular, but... They came up, it's like an upstairs bar, and they came upstairs, and Spencer and Sean both started laughing, and they screamed his name. I won't say his name. I'll keep it off the air. But they screamed his name, and he turned around and looked at them, and like a whole group of like, you know, high schoolers who knew, or like not in high school, but from the high school who graduated, and looked at them and was like, he just went, oh, fuck. And it's so like they were just like annoying the shit out of him for like 30 minutes and like following him around.
Sean said one of the teacher's friends asked him to buy the shirt off his back.
Yeah, they wanted to buy Sean's sweatshirt, which apparently Sean bought for me. I completely forgot about it. It was like a
Nike.
early 2000s Nike Crew.
Yeah.
And so that teacher, he remembered me for a reason I don't really care to bring up, but not for a bad reason, but from a person who I used to
hang around
with. But he knew that I sold vintage clothes, so he's like, Carson, like, let me buy if you have any Nike stuff or Mizzou stuff. So it was just funny that he remembered me because I didn't expect him to.
I never had an interaction with him, so he would not remember me.
Yeah, that's the only interaction I had with him, and it was just nice that he remembered that. But yeah, it was just funny. We were just out on the balcony and they were giving him shit, and then eventually they were like, okay, we're gonna leave, because he was like with a group for like a bachelor party or something. So yeah, it was just funny. It was just funny that happened. Moving on though, into our first and only topic of the day.
Yeah.
45 minutes in. I don't know if anybody saw this. It kind of
Stereogum posted it, and it was kind of out of context for me. I was completely lost by it.
Yeah, and Stereogum was really the only place that picked it up, besides a lot of musicians, and especially a lot in the hardcore scene. Like, I first saw this because the singer or the vocalist of Knocked Loose posted it on his story.
Oh, really?
And he was digging into this guy. He was like, get your fucking like beard oil Disney head ass like out of here, like saying all this shit. And I was like, what the fuck? What is he so mad about? I should have screenshotted it because he was like getting really specific and like shit.
What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?
But so I saw him post it, and then I saw that I think his name's Craig Reynolds. I could be getting that completely wrong. He's the drummer for this band Strayed from the Path. Strayed from the Path?
Straight from the Path.
Strayed from the Path. Apparently he said some things about it because I saw
Straight from the Past.
Straight from the Past. That's Doc Brown's band. Straight from the Past. But apparently he said something about it. But it was just like people in the hardcore scene.
P-A-Z-T. Pazd.
Which this band, so this is about the band Tesseract, which I was just telling,
Esser, Act, and then
another capital T. I just typed in Tessart.
Tesseract
band. I just want to see what genre they are. Progressive metal, groove metal. So
groove metal.
They're a metal band. I think they even do like, I don't know, but I saw that they have like really long songs that are like, 9 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 11 minutes, 11-minute long songs, which like
they go into synth solos and they do this.
It's too much. I'll keep my comments out of really long metal music, but anyways, they're a somewhat well-known band, apparently.
And probably more popular overseas.
Yeah,
because I think
coming to Brazil. German? No, they're from somewhere. Of course, I think
you close out of the fucking tab.
Jesus, here we go again. Oh God, I can't even
do one thing right.
I just want to see where you're from.
Jamie, pull it up for me.
Jamie, can you find out where Tesseract is from? The fuck are they from? God damn it. Oh, they're a pioneer of Gent, which I fucking hate Gent. That makes me hate them even more now.
I forgot about that.
Where the fuck are they from? What? Oh, here we go. No, that's not it.
Don't make me pull it up.
Don't make me do it. Okay, the UK it looks like. Because they have a tesseract.co.uk. Where are you cunts from? God damn it. Let me go to their merch page. Let me buy something. Leave a tip. We haven't even gotten to what the fuck we're talking about.
I just want to know where they're from.
I think they're from the UK. Hold on. Tesseract band.
Recorded at Middle Farm Studio in the UK.
Location. Okay, we'll just say the UK. So they're from the UK. And they're
London GB.
London GB. What does that mean?
Great Britain,
Great balls. Because
Great
So,
big fucking bowls.
This all started 2 days ago, maybe even 3 days ago at this point.
2 days.
It's gonna be the day.
2 days ago, this came up on Stereo Gum's Instagram.
Well, first. Well, actually, I first saw this with that repost from Brian Garris, the singer of Knocked Loose, directly from. This was the day before Stereo Gum posted it.
3 days before,
3 days before.
Stereo Gum posted on their
their
Instagram page.
Their drummer Jay at Jay Tesseract on Instagram.
Oh, you want to call him out? You want to call him out
It
there?
doesn't matter. He still has the post up, which is
Wait,
really,
actually?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he posted, Hey Peter, on this U.S. tour, we've discovered, this is his post.
On the U.S. tour.
On the U.S. tour, we've discovered an imbalance that I wish to shed light on. Oh boy. As a touring musician, we put a huge amount of energy into bringing our music to our fans. It's our pleasure and it's our passion, but believe me when I say it cost us everything to do this, obviously.
It's a lot of
Obviously.
gooning sessions.
It's a lot of...
It costs a lot of gooning sessions to get these things
I
on
don't
the
even
road.
like joking about it. It is funny, though. But believe me, touring at our level breaks even. Everything goes toward production, crew, and travel costs. That's how it is. Which sucks, unfortunately. When you purchase merch from a band at a U.S. show and leave a tip as is customary, you're not tipping the band. This tip goes to the merch seller. Which, if you don't know what it means, if you've never been to a show or a concert, when you go buy merch at a merch booth, a lot of them will have...
I got one more. I got a question to ask. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to finish up right here, and they spin you the square box thing.
The
And
iPad.
it'll usually have an option, leave a tip, no tip, sign here, if you're using card when you're buying merch. So, continuing on. From speaking with fans, we know some of you thought you were tipping the band. Firstly, thank you. Secondly, we apologize that your tip hasn't reached us. Fuck off. Secondly, we apologize your tip hasn't reached us. We didn't have vision of this system/culture until now. From speaking to peers, we have discovered that some merch sellers are generating... Hold on, this part is very important. From speaking to peers, we have discovered that some merch sellers are generating in excess of $30,000, and that's not British
30 quid.
pounds. That's not GB. That's
30,000 quid.
USD, baby. In excess of $30K in tips over the course of a 5 to 6 week tour, which is insane. Sure is. No one else on a tour at our level makes anything close to this. The band members certainly do not. The other crew members are on agreed fees, nowhere close to this. Continuing on.
It continues.
Turn the page. We understand that in the U.S. service industry, tipping culture is normal. It brings low-paid jobs up to a hopefully livable level. The job we're hiring, though, is not a low-paid job. What does that mean? I tried to figure out what that meant before.
So it's like the job that these merch people are having is not a low-paying job.
Okay, so they're saying like your rate should be enough.
Yeah.
According to them, which is interesting.
It'd be different. Yeah. Anyway.
While it goes against the grain, our suggestion is that all tips taken at the merch desk should be shared across the entourage, band, and crew. We're all here working hard all day to bring the show to you. Seems unfair for one person to own the monopoly on tips for the entire package.
It
Last
continues.
one, turn the page. While it's too late to make this change mid-tour, we have set up a digital tip jar that will be shared between the band crew at the end of the tour. Scan the Tip the Band QR code at our merch desk if you'd like your tip to reach all of us. As always, thank you for your continued support. We can't wait to see you out there.
So now...
Well, so I'm not jumping ahead just yet. I don't want to get to that.
Oh, I want to read this one.
Because we need to break that down first. So obviously you saw it on Stereo Gum and sent it to me, and then we had a little private discussion about it that we'll make public now.
Slight gooning session.
Because no, we didn't have that. No, I don't think we did that at all. Not that I remember, at least. because when I first saw that, I was like, I like read through the comments and stuff, and actually his comments turned off on that one, so people were like leaving comments on like other posts talking about it. But and he ended up saying this before this apology that we'll read here in a minute came out, but somebody was just like, that was such a, and I told this to Gavin too, I'm like, it was just such a stupid way to just say, hey, we're gonna set up a tip jar so you guys can tip directly to us. You didn't have to make up this whole like campaign to be like, and in the meantime, putting someone else who's hardworking down.
Yeah.
And it was just stupid. And the thing that Gavin and I were talking about, because maybe Gavin was a little bit unsure, and maybe I still am slightly.
The only reason I knew, actually the three most recent concerts I've been to did not take tips. Mm-hmm. The Arctic Monkeys were like, here's just pay and leave. They were like, here's your t-shirt, pay, leave. And then Peter Gabriel was just grab your t-shirt, pay, leave. And then Royal
Are they all
Blood
from the UK?
Yeah. And then Royal Blood was also from the UK.
Right. So
No
maybe
tip.
that could be something to do with it. Just
Yeah, maybe.
which might make sense with the next question, with the next thing that you brought up when we got here, which was, I think maybe there's a little bit of something that I think I wish I knew about this. Not that it even matters. Is that so? Most of the time on a tour, especially with a band of this caliber, even though they are coming from overseas, most of the time their merch person is someone they personally know or from a merch company that is selling it for them.
Yeah.
Rarely is it ever. There is an occasion where this happens, and maybe it's not as rare as I feel like it is, where
The venues will hire someone.
At each stop of the tour, they will go to the band, and I know that this does happen, that they will go to the band or group or whoever and be like, hey, if you need a merch person to sell your stuff, it's going to be this charge, and then like, here's a place where you can ship your merch to or whatever. So that does happen. I feel like, again, at this caliber that this band is at, not a huge band, but popular enough to be able to afford to have their own merch person, it would be so fucking weird. First of all, it's not okay to put anybody down in the first place from making money from tips, because, and we'll get to this in a minute, but I've never seen a tip thing and been like, I want this to go to the band. In my opinion, like, I think I've mostly thought this is going to the merch person. Or I hope. Yeah. Actually, I would probably think that it's going to the band, but in reality, I would want it to go to the merch person.
Yeah, I would want it to go to the band. I didn't even think.
Yeah, I would want it to go to the crew, because I would, they're the ones working hard who aren't going to get. The band is, not that they're making a ton of money on album sales anymore because of things like Spotify and shit like that. And not saying that bands, at this kind of mid-level shouldn't be getting paid, but in my opinion, why would I tip the band who's not there selling merch? When I'm tipping somebody, I'm tipping the person who I am having a face-to-face interaction, or I'm hoping I'm tipping the person I'm having a face-to-face interaction with, whether that goes good or bad. I'm tipping. I want to be tipping this person. And a lot of times that isn't the case, unfortunately.
Then the other thing is that I don't know why, and now that I think about it, I don't know why anyone would think that the tip money is going towards the band, because whenever you go to the bar at the venue and you give them a tip, you would kind of hope that that's going to the person working there.
Right. I don't want that going to the band.
Yeah. Or going to the venue. Like, you would hope that that's going towards the person.
And it is, because like, the band has nothing to do with those sales.
But I'm just thinking like that type of mindset where it's like, why would it go to the band? Even if they did hire the merch person, why would it go to the band?
Right. Yeah.
Because you're looking at the person in front of you serving you. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where, like, again, I would think that this band, and I could be wrong, and maybe there's a way I can find it out. Not that it matters that much, but it seems so insane.
DM them. I'm going to say,
I'm a direct message.
I'm going to drop them a line. I'm going to say, do you know the guy that works your merch booth?
And and why are you calling him out this way?
Unless the guy's
also
embezzling.
trying to make his money too.
Is that guy embezzling money from you?
Right. Which he's not. He's making the tips that he's allowed to have. But yeah, it just seems stupid that you would put someone down, especially if you know this person.
No, I think it's
instead
a
of
really
just
good
having
idea.
a conversation with them.
No.
And so maybe that is the case. Maybe they are hiring guns at every show. And in that case, that's the other thing too.
It kind of falls on you.
And this is the other thing with that, even if it is like you're hiring someone at the venue to do it, that's probably like the one gig that person might get
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
They are not making $30K. They're making
for a
like
5 to 6 week
for
tour.
one show. But that's the thing. If it's so that even sets it in stone even more that they're commenting on it being a 5 to 6 week tour. That means that they're saying that person is on tour with them.
Yeah.
I think that almost solidifies that.
and that means that they're making like $5,000 to
specifically saying
$6,000 a week.
Right. And they're specifically stating 5 to 6 week tour, which means that person is on tour with them the whole time. So they are touring with this person in a bus or a van, and they know this person in some sort of way.
It sounds like they
So that's
probably got a
crazy.
tip.
That's even crazier.
They
that we know that for
probably
sure.
got someone that commented on something or sent them a DM, and they're like, "Hey, I don't know what the tip's going to you, but I really hope it is." And then they're like, "Oh my god, the tips aren't going to us."
I would like to say, allegedly, I think there is no shot that anybody is messaging them or approaching them and saying that. There is no shot.
I'm just thinking,
this is somebody.
Someone got tipped off.
This is greed. This has to be coming from a place of greed, and it's like. It's fine. Like you should. Again, I'm not saying these people
artists
shouldn't
should be
getting-
making as much money as possible.
Yeah, as much money as possible. And merch sales are a huge, huge part of the only money that bands sometimes make, because things like Spotify they're not getting paid enough from some of that shit.
Right.
So I know that merch sales are enough, or are a lot to them, but the tip is not to you. The tip is to the person selling the merch. Having a virtual tip jar there, perfectly fine. Awesome. That's great. But to make it about the merch thing, that somebody
Different level.
A bunch of people have been approaching you about it, which is, I'm sorry, there is no way that's true. That's insane. That's
No,
so
dude,
stupid.
you don't understand.
I really hope this tip, I just left $100 tip, but I really hope you get it.
God, I wish you had this.
I would have given the money directly to you, but I know I was going to meet you, so there's $100 that I tipped, and I hope you guys can spend it on some ice cream tomorrow. God damn it, we missed out on that. They thought it was coming to us, and it wasn't.
And I think that it's a total reactionary post too.
Yeah, it's
Like he
just-
got really pissed off about someone. I do still feel like it is still someone that said that to him, and he was like, "What? Are you fucking kidding me, mate?
I think they found out.
That how
I
much
think-
money he made?
I think
that one guy
somehow-
that tours with them?
Or like some other guy. My guess is that the person they tour with somehow mentioned, "Oh man, I got this fucking
Guess what, this
stellar fucking tip today. $100. That's almost 90 quid. Are you fucking
Wow.
kidding me right now? That's crazy. You got a tip for what? I'll take my cut then." "Oh no, mate. Oh, those tips come to me. That's the rules." "Oh, you've got to be
Them's the
fucking
rules, mate."
kidding me. Oh, how are we not getting any of the tips? How much have you made? 30K? That's how much I think you probably made then, if you're getting 90 quid today." That's what I think happened. I think they're
They were back
one of
there.
their blokes. I don't know why I'm being derogatory. Like it matters that
One of
they're
their
British.
chaps.
One of those chaps was like, "Oh man, they tipped me so much. That's amazing."
Yeah.
Where's
What?
that cut? What's that fucking cut, mate? I'm gonna take my cut and I'm gonna go get a pack of cigarettes.
That's not quite fair, is it?
That's not quite fair that you get all that money.
So
That's
who
what I think
decided that?
So when was that decided? Was that you? Did Nigel think of that one? Was that him?
Or was that Niall?
Was that Niall? Was that Noel Gallagher? So that's what I think happened.
Omar?
Or because they keep mentioning the U.S. tipping culture, so I wonder if they like.
They
gotta-
actually turn off the tipping whenever they get over to the UK.
Oh, it automatically
Yeah.
shuts off.
You cross over the prime meridian and it's
Right.
and it automatically
I
it
wonder-
turns into note.
I wonder if they're like maybe either their merch company is U.S. based or maybe they hired someone from the U.S. to be their
Bit
merch
righteous,
person.
isn't it?
Because they like seem to be specifically commenting on that, which goes back to me asking about were all of those people from the UK? Because maybe were there merch sellers? Do they have accents? I remember you said one of them had an accent.
the opener for Royal Blood had a thick accent. Yeah, she was.
You remember if any of the other ones did?
No, I think Royal Blood had a hired gun for that because
Okay.
it was a middle-aged white woman who was happy to help.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not a claim to make, but yeah.
So anyway,
Anyways.
the statement, the band, is this a band? Yeah, the band posted it.
So this was yesterday. The band and also Jay posted the exact same apology
I see.
for it. So if you would like to read it.
Hey guys, we would like to talk about Jay's recent post to clarify the situation. We have not and will not be taking a cut of merch seller tips and would never wish to. As a band, we do not expect tips at shows. However, we have had a number of generous fans donating tips at the merch desk, believing that they are, or in part, reaching the band and touring party.
Bingo. I forgot that I even said that, and I feel pretty validated in my statement of saying that their merch guy was like, "Oh, look, it's fucking huge tip."
He's counting money in the back of the bus, man.
It is fine chip. I'm gonna fucking jerk off onto this chip.
Gonna go into this, mate.
Okay.
We had set up a small donation QR code for the touring party, but regrettably this has caused confusion and this has been removed. Please know that tipping at the merch stand is a means to support the merch seller as is customary. Merch sellers are working hard, as are the band and crew, and whether they tour with us or join us locally, they are an extremely valued member of our team.
Stop right there real quick. So they completely fuck themselves into such a corner that they felt that the best thing to do was remove the QR code altogether.
Entirely, yeah.
When they could have just they didn't even have to say anything. They could have just put up a sign. Tip here. This money goes directly to supporting the band and crew. You don't have to make a fucking post about it. The drummer of the band doesn't have to make a fucking post about it. First of all, just put it up and just have it be there. But now you fucked yourself so hard that you're not even going to get that tip because you had to punch down
Now there's,
to feel validated for your reasoning.
Well, hey, any press is good press, right?
I guess so.
I had never heard of Tesseract before this, so
I did a week before because someone went to their show and I was like, oh, Tesseract. Never heard of them.
anyway, we are not part of the U.S. tipping culture
Oh, okay.
and are in no position to challenge this, but we are a transparent bunch of people and will always shed a light on issues that arise.
What? So now they're double backing on this.
We thank you for your continued support, as always. Tesseract.
So now they're double backing on what they said.
Yeah.
And being like, we don't fucking get this fucking United States tipping bullshit.
We're not part of the U.S. tipping culture and are in no position to challenge this. No, I'm thinking Australian there.
Challenge this.
Challenge this.
But
But
now,
we are a transparent bunch of lads, of
Bunch of
people,
blokes.
and we'll always shed a light on issues that arise.
on issues that are... So they're still saying that it's an issue.
Yeah, they're not backing out on the fact that
Right.
someone made $30K on their 5 to 6 week tour.
And that they think it's an issue and that they need to comment on it. But they're also like, but we know that they need to make money and we're not going to take their cut. But it is an issue.
We're not going to take their money, mate, but I will say that is one of the biggest fucking problems in the tipping culture now.
That accident fluctuated. Yeah, it's just so
Shared
that's,
agreements?
that's probably the worst non-apology I've seen. Now that I'm reading it, I read it I think I read it when I woke up this morning.
Yeah,
so
it's
having
pretty
a
fucking
clear
bad.
head rereading it, I'm like that's
When it's laid out like that in front of you, it's pretty bad.
Here, I'm gonna read a few comments that I see.
Who's Rainlord? Do you know this person?
That's
Craig-
Craig Reynolds.
Is that the drummer?
No, that's the drummer of Straight from the Past. That's straight. So I think he made comments on his own social media. He speaks out on a lot of stuff like that, which is really good. But then he's saying he apologizes for whatever he said. Here's a comment that I haven't read any of these, so I'm just kind of reading them off for the first time. As a merch seller
As a Moses house.
for Gavin, I know you're a big fan of this band, Ozric. Oh, sorry, Ozric Tentacles.
Oh yeah.
My best friends in the universe, touring with them since 2006-7. I can't confirm that doing merch is so hard. One of the most difficult.
Rick is my best friend in the world.
One of that sounded like a church thing.
Ozric
Is my best friend in the world. It's always fun. Oh, it's hard. One of the hardest, difficult jobs, in fact, on tour. Which I know I've met merch people in bigger shows, and they're like, I met the merch guy for Neck Deep when the second time I went and hung out with him. He had to work the merch booth this time and like do everything because he's like,
He said, "Oh man, I don't want to walk the merch booth. They're
Yeah.
gonna take my money."
we went down at the end of the show when everybody had cleared out and they were like packing stuff up to like get some free merch, which I felt bad about doing. And he was like so stressed out and like tired, and I was like, "Hey man, you remember me at all from last night?" He's like, "Oh yeah," I remember you.
He's like, "You're the one that took all me cut. You took the
you're
cut
the
of all the
one.
money."
You're the one that was fucking gooning in the fucking backstage green room.
Weren't you?
Weren't you fucking gooner?
You fucking gooner.
I feel like you shouldn't say that. It's always fun, though, and rewarding traveling with your friends across the world, but behind the scenes, it's really labor intensive and gigs are often hectic. Yada, yada. Help with stuff going on, too. We're all a team, a band crew. Our lighting person has been... Yeah, so it's just... That was just a very weird comment. There's someone else. There was no misunderstanding. He said what he said, and y'all are trying to turn it around, LMFAO. Did he not say since the contract is locked in for this tour, y'all can't make changes? Insinuating, if there wasn't a contract, you would make the change to take tips? Make it make sense. Let's see if there was any reply to that.
So I says to him,
So I thought he says to him, yeah, I say, go fuck yourself, you stupid bitch.
"Mr. Wine,
Yeah, I don't... Master Wine. Would
Mr.
you
Wine.
like Tesseract to take all your... Would you like
Mr. Wine.
Tesseract?
It appears your money's been used to pay the merch booth."
Master Wine.
Master Wayne, it appears your money's been used.
Wait.
It's been a pleasure serving you. But
Wait.
it seems the merch booth was taking all of my money.
What if it was like, Master Wayne, I went to go buy you a nice new hoodie at the Tesseract merch booth, and I went to leave a chip, and I'm just a bit worried.
On your behalf.
on your behalf, and I'm just a bit worried that might not be going back to the band, and I think it might be going to the merch seller, because he gave me quite a proper smile whenever I left that big $1,000 tip. With that $1,000 bill you gave me, Master Wayne.
Master Bruce.
Master Bruce Wayne. Oh, Master Wayne, it appears that all of the tips for the merch might be going to the merch seller. What does it even mean? I don't even know what it means, but I love
I don't even know why I came up with that. I was just thinking, like, what's the most British sounding
Wayne.
thing I could come up with? That's
Ugh.
Michael Caine. Shout out Michael
it.
Caine.
Shout out to Michael Caine. Oh, man.
Master Bruce.
So, yeah, people are just...
It's been a pleasure serving you.
It's been a pleasure serving you at
However,
your merch booth.
it appears the merch booth's been taking all your monies.
Taking a couple quid off the top.
Pocketing the rest.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people, like... Yeah, some people seem upset. Some people seem like that apology was good enough with it.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, neat. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people may... I think the one thing that these UK bands probably aren't seeing, and people from the UK in general aren't seeing, is that we... Not saying that UK people don't get fucked over in their jobs, but America, it's pretty well known that we get pretty fucked here, and we don't have free healthcare. So, you know, that's why we have a tipping culture, is because those jobs aren't well paying enough, and even
Yeah.
if they say that they think it is,
And
that's
even
in your own
if someone
opinion.
is making most of their money off of tips, Usually,
Goes
like
a
if it's
long
a
way.
server.
Goes a long way.
Well, like their hourly wage is like $3.80
Yep.
or something like that.
But they're saying that they think that the merch person's payment should be enough. But that's in their
Hey, that's just,
opinion.
hey, you know,
It's
British
still,
people just don't get it, man.
I'm sure it's not a livable wage.
I've heard the opposite of Europeans, where people hate Europeans coming over because they just
They don't
refuse to
tip.
tip. How about instead of a tipping, you give me a
French bread.
you give me a French cigarette.
You give me the best, finest French baguette in town, okay? No tip.
No tip.
No tip, Mr. Wayne. Monsieur Wayne.
Mr. Wayne.
Monsieur Wayne. Monsieur Wayne.
Mr. Wayne.
Monsieur Wayne, it appears that the merch boss is taking the tips of the money from your merch sales, and that will not happen in my house. No tip.
No tip.
We will be turning tips off as soon as we cross back into the United Kingdoms.
Get me across the Prime Meridian.
Prime. I'm gonna have a prime meridian
I don't even think
for
the
dinner.
Prime Meridian is.
I don't know.
I think that's. No, it is Prime Meridian. It's
Yeah, probably.
Equator is this.
The International Dateline. You ever watch
Sure,
that
man.
show? Lester Holt.
Tonight on Dateline.
Tonight on Dateline. Okay, moving on. This episode should have been the shortest episode, has now gone on to the longest episode. Moving into our next door dramas. Unless you had was there anything else you
No,
wanted to wrap
no,
up?
I
mean that's where it is. It's just it's fucking stupid. They dug themselves a hole and then try to dig themselves out, but then just put themselves back into the hole and then fuck themselves over because now they feel like they have to take the tipping thing down. So I don't know. That's just so dumb.
Or mate,
all
don't shoot
around.
the messenger.
Don't shoot without a messenger.
Master Wayne, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just coming to you with information that may impede your day.
Alfred, I didn't want the merch sellers to get a tip.
I didn't want the merch sellers to get a tip.
I didn't want them to get the tip. Take all the tips from them. I don't understand this U.S. tipping culture, even though I was born here.
You don't think that I'm a billionaire because of this?
You sound like your dad, a quiet Donald Trump. Master
Have you ever watched that, Batman?
Alfred. I don't understand this U.S. tipping culture.
The U.S. tipping culture has got out of hand.
This U.S. tipping culture is quite crazy.
Get back here, Joker.
Get back here. Indict the motherfucker.
Indict the motherfucker.
Anyways, next door drama is a segment we do every week on the show, pretty much every week.
Every week.
Where we go to the infamous next door the infamous
Next door.
next door web
Next
blog
door.
posting websites, blog posting website for your neighborhood,
Neighborhood.
where people can post whatever they want
Whatever
going
they
on,
want.
and it's I'll have enough of the ad libs. That's enough of the ad hominem. I love when people use that. It's so stupid. It's where people in your neighborhood, which is
God,
up a
your
certain
eyebrows
mile.
are terrible today.
Thank you. Are they really bad? They look funny?
no.
That
was ad
ad
hominem.
hominem. Thank you. I already forgot. It's where so your neighborhood is up to a certain mile radius. People can post whatever they want. It's a lot of complaining and whining, people wanting to sell things, and they make that face a lot while they're commenting it. A lot of old people, a lot of old white people especially, because they don't have anything else left to do with their time. So
Am I
What we
running
do?
for re-election?
Well,
But what we do is we go on there every week. We find a blog entry, and we take the entry and the comments. We script it out. We do a dramatic reenactment of it. Set to music. And this week's next door drama is titled "Can't Halloween Just Be Fun?" I will be playing the character of Jana, who just wants to have fun. Obviously,
Jamie.
Jana. Okay. Gavin will be playing Linda, who's a paranoid suburban mom, possibly Irish.
Do you want me to do Irish? I'll do.
No. There's two parts where a word is mentioned where I want you to really accentuate the Irish inflection on it.
Okay.
I think you'll know when, and if you don't, that's okay. Don't think too much about it. But without saying much else, I'm gonna hit the next door drama intro song, and we're gonna get right into it, folks. Here we go.
That Actually, it scared me.
This week on
realize
Next
that
Door
intro is so
Drama.
long.
Before anyone starts these rumors this year, pre-Halloween reminder: no one likes your kids enough to give them free drugs. Art.
If not drugs, glass, needles, or razor blades. It's so sad you can't take kids trick-or-treating without having to take their candy to be x-rayed.
Has anyone in here actually taken their kids' candy to get x-rayed?
Yes, I have taken my kids' candy to be x-rayed. X-rayed?
I want to say something, but I can't.
Yes, I have taken my kids' candy to be X-rated because I love my children dearly. And at the time, the healthcare was a lot better than it is now. And actually, if you want to know, my insurance, though, through my husband's employer, paid for it at an urgent care treatment facility. I see I brought the bullies, didn't I? Oh yay, a Republican Belliff. Next, you will be telling me it's fake news.
Children getting harmed by a razor bladed? I didn't even notice that. Children getting harmed by razor bladeds and drugs on Halloween is urban legend.
Oh. Oh yeah, little belief. I know for a fact it is an urban legend. Let me just say, tell my friend who had to go through a mouthful of stitches in pain no one put razor blades in apples. What? Hold on. Let me just say, tell my friend who had to go through a mouthful of stitches in pain no one put razor blades in apples. Tell them to show you their scars from the cuts having to have their tongues sewn back together that it's all urban legend.
How sad is it that children cannot enjoy one of the best memories of childhood because their caregivers are so paranoid? When was the last confirmed incident of poisonous candy?
And your point must be?
It wasn't a point, it was a question. When was the last confirmed incident of poisonous candy?
Investigate it, then let us know.
Can't Halloween just be fun? Oh, that might have been the hardest I've laughed in a while. Holy shit. Wait, let's play those at the same time. Hold on. 3, 2. Oh, it's my volume's turn. We'll do it again in a minute after the outro plays. Holy shit.
Oh
In a
yeah,
minute, you don't
little
worry about it.
belief.
Oh yeah, little belief. To let everybody know why I was laughing so hard at this one thing. They spelled blades
Bladed.
BLADEDS.
Bladeds.
Bladeds. And I didn't know it said that.
That's why I thought you included it.
No, sometimes
You gotta
I
read
notice
through
them,
these so
sometimes I
critically.
don't.
Critically.
I
Oh, yeah,
made
little
sure
belief.
to include the yes I have taken my kids' candy to be X-rated because it said that. And then there was surprisingly there was a lot of like people actually saying funny shit in reply to that, where they were like, X-rated? What do you mean? Or like, just stuff like that. Like not being like serious, but like being like, oh, I didn't know we were doing that.
Wow.
Or something.
You're taking your kids to be X-rated?
They're X-rated?
You're taking their kids' candy to be X-rated?
Oh yeah, a little belief.
Oh yeah, a little believe.
And it was so. I love how you thought it was just gonna be that one, and then it came back in like the second line, and they say the same thing again.
Oh yeah, a little
Oh
believe.
yeah, a little belief.
Little believe.
Oh fuck, that was really funny. There was just like, so that person at the end breaking the illusion here, but the person's
Can't Halloween just be fun?
no, not that, the person who was like investigate it, then let us know, dude. For like, this post is from I guess 2 weeks ago, not that long ago. Up until last week, they wasn't even their post, and they were still in the comments like arguing with people about how like, no, it happens. There's razor blades and candy. It happens. Like just nonstop. Just this one person. The other people were just like, they commented and that was it. This person was just replying to people who weren't even talking to them. It was crazy. Like there's a new comment, it looks like. No, it's just that same person. But for like a week they were doing this.
You were monitoring the situation closely.
No, I can just, it says when the comments are posted.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're just like saying like, yeah, just like vague things of like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, but it is real. Oh, are you sure? Are you really? It's just
Really?
like, yeah, it's just so stupid. But yeah, so funny. What a good little gem of the internet. Another thing, moving on quickly so we can get out of here because we've been going on for quite some time, is we do a segment called What You Listening To, where Gavin and I recommend a song, album, or band to each other, to the audience, of what we've been listening to
Sorry.
in the past week. I was like, where's that coming from? And for the past, technically 3 weeks, it's really only been the past 2 weeks, I've been recommending Halloween music in preparation leading up to Halloween, which this is the second to last episode of the Halloween season. Next week, let me just give a little disclaimer here before we go, or a little heads up or a tease, if you will, before we get into the segment. But next week is our Halloween spooktacular. You can say that. It's okay.
You can say that in 2023?
I've checked.
Okay.
I checked with all the sources, and they said it's okay.
ADL said it was okay?
I sent it to Amnesty International, and I also sent it to ChatGPT.
Okay, cool.
And they both approved it. But it'll be our big Halloween episode, which we have quite a bit planned. Actually, quite a bit planned. I'm not giving away anything.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah, no, we haven't said exactly one of the things we're going to do or anything. But there are quite a few things we haven't said anything about. The main thing we haven't mentioned at all, which I'm very excited to do. It's going to be a lot of fun. I thought we were the first ones to do it, but with my surprise, we are not. There's already been a few people who've done it. But it seems like it's a newer a take on an old idea, if I may. But definitely tune in next week. It's gonna be be very, very fun. But yes, so getting into it, if I may, real quick, Gavin, just get my Halloween music recommendation out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't think I've recommended this song before. I apologize if I did. I know one year I recommended another song by this band. I don't think it was this song, though. I am listening to the song Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. Now, I believe I recommended The Reaper last year.
Yeah.
And I wanted to... I like realized after that I really like Godzilla more. And so I wanted to make sure I recommended that this year. Could you hit that one more time?
No.
Can you get a second? Because it's such a good song, and like all of Blue Oyster Cult, all of their stuff is like so ahead of its time, in my opinion. And it's like kind of, it has like hints of like heavy metal, but it's like heavy rock, and it's like of that like 70s sound, and it's so good. And this song is super cool, and a lot of it has that kind of like, I don't know, kind of like spooky Halloween-ish sound. It's a little like kind of taboo, and they play into that like kind of, I don't know, that kind of like spooky, ghostly sound a little bit and that kind of like theme. I was thinking, actually, I was going to bring this up to you. I was looking at all of their album covers and I was like, even their art is so ahead of its time. And I was like, Blue Oyster Cult, holy shit, I cannot
Easy
say
for
that.
you to say.
Blue Oyster Cult's like artwork was like, would have been the band Ghost of their time.
Yeah.
Or the other one I thought of was King Gizzard. A lot of their artwork
Yeah.
is very reminiscent of that. But it's so fucking cool. All their stuff is so cool. But this song, yeah, again, I mean, Godzilla, obviously, that's like, you know, a classic horror film, I guess you would say, a horror thriller film. So, and that whole song is literally just telling the story of Godzilla. Super good. Love that song. Perfect for the season. Gavin, what are you listening to?
So
my friend?
actually, I have a tweet that I'm listening to. No, I have a
Yeah.
tweet that was related to Halloween.
Oh, nice.
I think I shared it with you, maybe not. Yeah, I'll come over and carve pumpkins, dude. I love getting the shitty pumpkin guts all over my hands and clothes. The disgusting texture is almost indescribable. Also, could you hand me the knife that barely cuts through the pumpkin at all? Just want to make sure it looks like shit.
Yeah. Hey, but that teased me up for another hint I was going to give. We're not carving pumpkins again this year.
Finally.
We did that last year. We're moving on.
Finally, Alfred.
Master Wayne, your pumpkin guts.
Thank you. I wanted to carve it. I wanted to carve it into Bane.
So this week I'm listening. This actually is crazy because I had liked.
Is it?
No, okay, it's not. But it was kind of insane because I was like, it's kind of crazy and not. It's actually not crazy. It's kind of insane that I watched listened to this album a while ago, or listened to songs off this album, but didn't ever listen through the whole thing.
Okay.
And I was like, oh hey, I have this song liked. Oh wow, I really like this song.
Oh, hey.
And I'm like, oh, these are all in the same album. So I end up listening to the whole album. It's the album Spirit Mission by Sure Sure. Kind of like a poppy, indie pop, bedroom pop kind of mix of stuff. It is very good from 2022. It's kind of crazy the amount of range that this band has. So definitely check it out. That's what I'm listening to this week.
Never heard of it before.
Yeah.
I might have to check it out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting, the ghost. Carson, any final words?
No, man. I mean, I've already said it, but I'm just really excited for next week's show. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Me too.
It's gonna be quite some fun.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening to Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 136, 137. Keep watching, keep listening, keep subscribing, and be sure to like and subscribe.
The vultures are waiting to pick your bones.